We have some breaking news here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. The Chiefs have made a trade for Mike Hughes, the cornerback, former first-round pick in 2018. Did not see this one coming, but hey, you get some depth to your cornerback room. So here are the trade details. The Chiefs throw a 6th-round pick to Minnesota, and Kansas City gets Mike Hughes and a 7th-round pick in return. We're going to break this down throughout this video. I'll give my thoughts, then also discuss what it could mean for the cornerback position as a whole. What is your one-word reaction to trading for Mike Hughes? Go ahead and let us know down in the comment section. I don't have a super strong reaction. You're trading for a guy who's been a bust, if we're being completely honest. He was clearly worked out of Minnesota's rotation there. How about the word trial? This is Kansas City, Spags, Andy Reid saying, the guy's got talent, former first-round pick. We'll throw you a 6th-round pick and get a 7th back in return. If he hits, if we can find a role for him, great. If not, then, well, Mike Hughes is not going to be a part of this team long-term anyway because he is on the final year of his rookie contract. So my one word is trial. Let us know what yours is. So the Chiefs have a new cornerback, Mike Hughes. Now, what does this really mean? I don't think it really means that much. This is probably a guy who's going to compete for a roster spot, not really a guy who I would expect to come in and start or anything like that, but you get some depth. You get a guy who's got some talent coming out of Central Florida. He was the number 30 overall pick in 2018, 3 years with the Vikings. He's been okay, only played in 4 games this past year, has been banged up as well. Give you a little bit of something on special teams, did some of that in Minnesota as well, but all in all, he really hasn't been that productive for the Minnesota Vikings in his career. They declined his 5th-year option, which they had the option since he was a first-round pick, so the Chiefs basically get a 1-year trial, once again that word, out of him. In his career, 1 interception in 24 games, 13 pass breakups, little undersized. He's 5'10", about 190 pounds. Okay, he's got some nickel outside corner hybrid ability. Can he come in, be your number 4 overall corner? I think that's a possibility. I think it's, again, not a starting caliber player here. This is not, and we'll talk about Bashaud Breeland later, but this is not, you traded for Mike Hughes, so that means you shouldn't pursue Bashaud Breeland. You shouldn't pursue a guy like Richard Sherman. I just do not think that makes a whole lot of sense, but I think depth is a good thing. Brett Veach has gotten good value on trades in the past, so you could certainly do a whole lot worse than giving up a 6th for a former first-round pick. Now, this is why you subscribe to the Chiefs Report, because we have all of the breaking news, rumors, everything else floating around Chiefs Kingdom. Hit that big red button and subscribe. Hey, they're trading for a guy who's been a bust, and we're still making a video about it because that's what we do. Subscribe, share that link with a friend. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Okay, so let's look at the depth chart now. Again, I'm not going to plug him in as a starter or anything crazy. I think if you went to battle tomorrow, L'Jarius Sneed, Charvarius Ward, Rashad Fenton. Those are your 3 starting corners with either Fenton or Sneed in the slot and the other one on the outside. I think Sneed's got more upside. He's more talented, so I think he'd be your CB1. I think Ward would be your CB2. Fenton would be your nickel. Maybe Mike Hughes pushes him there. I don't really view him in that ilk. He's probably more of a cornerback number 4 or number 5 type, battling for a roster spot. So we'll see what this means long-term for his future. Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs see something in him and think he can be a piece that can develop into a fringe type of starter, at least a guy that can come in and play if you do have some injuries, which the Chiefs did have some injuries last year. Remember, Breeland got suspended for the first 4 games of the year. You also had L'Jarius Sneed break his collarbone. So depth is very important in the NFL, as you guys know, and I think depth is what you're getting here in Mike Hughes. Who will be the starting 3 corners for Kansas City? I told you right now, if you played tomorrow, it would be L'Jarius Sneed, Charvarius Ward, and Rashad Fenton. I'd like to add another starting caliber corner to this roster, but as of now, I don't think that you really have somebody who could be a starting, another starting caliber corner on your roster. I think it's those 3 guys. So go ahead, get your votes and predict it for me. Who will be your starting 3 corners for Kansas City in the 2021 NFL season? We've talked about Richard Sherman in the past. We've talked about Bashaud Breeland in the past. Obviously, he's been a part of this team the past couple of years. We'll have to see if he ends up returning in 2021. So let's talk about Bashaud Breeland for a couple of minutes here as well. Does this mean that they're not going to bring him back? I don't really view it that way. Obviously, that's going to be the reaction. Oh, this means Breeland's not coming back. This means they're not going to pursue Sherman. If that's the case, then I think that's misguided from Kansas City. This is a depth piece in Mike Hughes. I would certainly still look at bringing a guy like Bashaud Breeland back into the fold. This is a guy who's played well the past couple of years. He was critical, in my opinion, in the Chiefs Super Bowl run a couple of years ago. Thought he played very, very well in the postseason for Kansas City. Thought he played really good last year. Certainly not a lockdown number one corner by any means, but a good football player. Bashaud Breeland has turned himself into a high-level CB2, low-end CB1 in the NFL. That's how he's played these past 2 years. Don't believe me? Just look up the advanced stats. He's been really, really good these past couple of seasons in Steve Spagnuolo's system. Had 2 interceptions in just 11 games this past year. Had 2 picks in 2019 as well. He's been good in coverage. He's forced a lot of incompletions. He battles. He scraps. I like his intensity that he plays with at the cornerback position. And let's be frank, Charvarius Ward did not play that well last year. Now, I think L'Jarius Sneed's going to be a star. I think we saw last year he's got CB1 potential, an absolute gem that Brett Veach found in the 4th round of the draft this past year. But I would still bring back Bashaud Breeland. I would bring him back into the fold. And then you've got competition and depth. Maybe DeAndre Baker is in the Chiefs' plans, and we just don't know that. That could be a reason why they would not re-sign Breeland. That scares me a little bit. I would rather just bring back Breeland for like a 1-year, $4 million deal. Don't think he's going to get a ton of money on the open market, but that's just me. I think re-signing the veteran corner makes a whole lot of sense. But what do you guys think? Should the Chiefs re-sign Bashaud Breeland? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get your votes in on this one. Should Kansas City bring back the corner that they've had for the past couple of years? He's not even 30 yet. I think you could easily get good production from him once again in 2021. So just to re-hit the news of the day, the Chiefs trade for veteran cornerback Mike Hughes. They send out a 6th-round pick in return for Hughes and a 7th. Quick reminder, final year of his rookie contract. He was a first-round pick in 2018, but Minnesota declined his 5th-year option because, well, he's pretty much been a bust up to this point in his NFL career. But I like what Kansas City is doing. They're taking a chance. It's cheap. Worst-case scenario, you lose a 6th-round pick and you get a 7th back in return. Just to remind you guys before we sign off, get subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report because any news, any rumors, hot and heavy, we'll get it to you here on this channel. Hit that big red button and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.